Everyone, welcome back to a new post today. Let's continue with part 4 of the August current affairs for the preliminary upcoming examination of 2024. So the next issue is with regard to the Supreme Court forming an all-women panel for the relief work in the aftermath of the Manipur issue, and this panel is led by the Chief Justice, the Jammu and Kashmir former High Court Chief Justice Geeta Mittal, and the committee also includes Justices Shalini Joshi and Asha Menon, and the move is to oversee various aspects beyond not only investigation such as relief, rehabilitation, compensation of those that are affected by the violence. And Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, who heads the bench, who gave the direction to form an all-women judicial panel, emphasized that the committee's role extends beyond investigation, encompassing various vital aspects of recovery and rebuilding, and it also has been constituted to look into other aspects of investigation including rehabilitation and compensation as well, stated the CJI. And the primary goal behind this decision is to restore public confidence, reinforce faith in rule of the law. Now, the reason for the conflict in Manipur was the Kukis and the Meiteis. Now, the Kukis are against the Meiteis getting the scheduled tribe status. So the next most important issue is with regard to the debate on the no trust motion. Now, the opposition bring these motions to force a wide ranging of debates and also to hold the governments accountable, and also to prove whether they have the government, whether it has the confidence of the Lok Sabha according to Article 75(1) of the Constitution. Now, the no confidence motion can be moved only in the Lok Sabha, and it needs a support of 50 members. We know that, and it is a mechanism to test the majorities, the government's majority strength as prescribed by the Constitution. Any MP who has the support of 50 other colleagues at any point of time can introduce the no confidence motion against the government, that is the Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister, and this has been specified in Rule 198 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha. The debate also of the no confidence motion is undertaken under the Rules of Procedure of the Lok Sabha because it cannot be introduced in the Rajya Sabha. Let me tell you that the Prime Minister can also move a confidence motion in order to prove the strength of the government at the Lok Sabha, and the no confidence motion, I told you, can be moved only in the Lok Sabha. As per the rules, the MPs who support the motion highlight the government's shortcomings, and the treasury benches then respond to the issues and answer the opposition party. At the end of the debate, the vote takes place among the members of the Lok Sabha on the motion, and if the motion passes, the government then has to vacate the office. And the next most important issue is with regard to centre seeking time to frame the CAA rules, or the Citizenship Amendment Act rules. Now, the Citizenship Amendment Act came into force in 2019, and it seeks to grant citizenship to prosecuted minorities like the Hindus, Sikh, Jain, Buddhist, Parsi Christians from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan who entered into India before December 31st, 2014, and it was passed in the Parliament in 2019, and the act was notified on the very next day of December 12th itself. The applicants belonging to the Hindu, Sikh, Christian, Buddhist, Jain or the Parsi faiths have to furnish documents to prove that they entered India before December 31st, 2014. And the next most important issue is with regard to the National Research Foundation Bill. The Parliament recently passed the Anusandhan National Research Foundation Bill. The NRF replaces the Science and Engineering Research Board, which was established in 2008, and the NRF will be presided by the Prime Minister of India and the Minister of Science and Education as Vice Presidents. There is an explicit inclusion of 5 members from the business industry who can be nominated to the board by the Prime Minister. The NRF will be administratively managed by the Department of Science and Technology, and it will facilitate investments into the research by the private sector. It can be from the companies, international organizations, and also philanthropic organizations as well. The NRF is a national agency to fund research in the universities in the country, and the bill seeks to set up a fund of 50,000 crore with a sizable contribution from the private sector by tapping something called as the Corporate Social Responsibility Fund as well. And it aims to provide high-level strategic direction to the research, innovation and entrepreneurship in the country to enhance national research infrastructure in India. Let me tell you that India's gross expenditure on research and development is very low. It's just about 0.7% of the GDP since the last 2 decades, while in developed countries it is almost 2% of the GDP in countries such as Israel, South Korea, US and Germany, and therefore India wants to achieve this goal as well. The next most important issue is with regard to Exercise Malabar. Now, the 27th edition of the Exercise Malabar concluded off the coast of Australia. The main players in the Exercise Malabar, which is a naval exercise, is United States, Japan and India. Australia joined the exercise only in 2020, and aftermath of the Exercise Malabar, there was Aussie Index, the Australia Index bilateral naval exercise that took place. And I told you that it is a naval exercise now between United States, Japan, India and Australia, who are also the members of the Quad as well. And the Exercise Malabar was conducted in two phases. One is the harbour phase and the other is the sea phase. The next most important issue is with regard to GST Appellate Tribunal. Now, this was in news because of the pending appeals before the GST Appellate Tribunal, and the Goods and Services Tax Appellate Tribunal is a forum for second appeal of the GST laws and the first common forum for dispute resolution between the centre and the states. The appeals against the orders in the first appeals issued by the appellate authorities under the centre and the state GST Acts lie before the GST Appellate Tribunal, which is common under the centre as well as the state GST Acts. Now, being a common forum, the GST Appellate Tribunal will ensure that there is uniformity in redressal of disputes arising because of the GST across the country. And Chapter 18 of the Central GST Act provides for appeal and review mechanism for the dispute resolution under the GST regime, and Section 109 of the Central GST Act empowers the central government to constitute, on recommendation of the GST Council, by notification, appellate tribunal called as the Goods and Services Tax Appellate Tribunal. And the next most important issue with regard to mines in the country is the Mines and Minerals Amendment Bill of 2023. It amends the Mines and Minerals Development Act of 1957, and the act was already amended in 2015 to introduce auction-based mineral concession allocation for transparency, and also created a district mineral foundation for the welfare of the affected communities because of mining, and established also a National Mineral Exploration Trust to promote exploration and imposes stricter penalties for illegal mining. Now, this bill allows the private sector to mine 6 out of 12 atomic minerals, that is lithium, beryllium, niobium, titanium, tellurium and zirconium. The exploration license will be granted by the state government through competitive bidding, and the central government will prescribe details such as the manner of the auction, the term and conditions, the bidding parameters for exploration licenses through the rules. The bill also allows activities such as single exploration license in an area up to 1,000 square kilometers. After 3 years, a license will be allowed to retain up to 25% of the original authorized area. And if the resources are proven to be after exploration, the government will conduct an auction of the mining lease within 6 months. Now, the next most important issue with regard to the TB burden in the country, and India, let me tell you, is striving to reduce TB, not reduce but eliminate TB from the country by 2025. This needs to be remembered. The TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan aims to support the TB patients throughout their treatment journey, and Nikshay Poshan Yojana is launched recently to provide a monthly nutritional support to about 75 lakh people undergoing TB treatment through direct benefit transfer. And at the One World TB Summit held in Varanasi, a shorter TB preventive treatment and a TB-free Panchayat initiative, which encourages local governments to combat TB and receive awards for their efforts, was also launched. Have you ever heard of Maya? Yes, it's the operating system. So Maya is the operating systems that was developed by the Indian Defence Research and Development Organization in 2021, and it is being implemented after 15th August 2023. It is powered by an end-to-end detection and protection system called as Chakravyuh, and to act as a barrier against the online threats by foreign nations. So Maya and Chakravyuh strengthening the digital system in the country. Have you heard of the Jan Vishwas Bill? Now, this Jan Vishwas Bill aims to achieve ease of doing business. How? Because it decriminalizes certain offences, it removes certain offences from the various acts that deal with the business environment, revision of fines and penalties. Now, the Jan Vishwas Bill of 2022 was introduced in the Lok Sabha, and it amends 42 acts to decriminalize certain offences, reduce the compliance burden on individual and businesses, and also ensures ease of doing business. So the main aim of the Jan Vishwas Bill was ease of doing business, to reduce the penalties, offences and the various other penalties which are located in various acts dealing with the business environment of the country. And can the states in the country change their name? Yes, this is possible under Article 3, and one such state that has been demanding the change in the name is Kerala, that is to Keralam, the Malayalam name. Has this ever happened before? Yes, it has happened. Travancore, Cochin to Kerala in November 1st, 1956. Madhya Bharat to Madhya Pradesh in 1959. Madras state to Tamil Nadu in 1969. Mysore state to Karnataka in 1973. Uttaranchal to Uttarakhand in 2007. Orissa to Odisha in 2011. And Northeast Frontier Agency to Arunachal Pradesh in 1972. So the most recent one was Odisha, that is Orissa to Odisha in 2011, and the most earliest one was Travancore, Cochin to Kerala in 1956. And now Kerala again, Assembly the passed a resolution for demanding a change in the name to Keralam, and the Assembly has sought an amendment to the constitution which refers to the state as Kerala. This change will have to be reflected even in Schedule 1, which includes a list of the states and the union territories. The name of the state in Malayalam is Keralam. The state were reorganized on the linguistic basis in November 1st, 1956. The Kerala Piravi Day is also celebrated on November 1st. The demand for a united Keralam from the people who speak Malayalam as their mother tongue has been happening since the days of the freedom, and this led to formation of Kerala November 1st, 1956, and the change will have to be seen in first schedule, and this is possible under Article 3, which says formation of new states, alteration of areas, boundaries and the names of the existing states. Do you know that we have a privilege committee in the Lok Sabha and also the Rajya Sabha? Yes, so the privilege committee was in use. The committee consists of 15 members from the Lok Sabha and nominated by the Speaker and Chairman in case of Rajya Sabha, 10 members in case of Rajya Sabha. In the Rajya Sabha, the Deputy Chairperson heads the Committee of Privileges. The committee examines every question regarding the breach of privilege in the House of the members and referred to it by the House or by the Speaker or the Chairman also. It determines to reference to the facts with each member with regard to breach of privilege involved and also makes specific recommendation. It also states the procedure to be followed by the House in giving effects to the recommendation. When a question of privilege is referred to the committee by the House, the report of the committee is presented to the House by the Chairman and is in his absence the member of any other of the committee as well. So we all know that the government employees receive a pension, but there was a demand to revert back to old pension scheme. So let's look about old pension scheme. Many states have already reverted back to the old pension scheme, and this is going to be a major attraction during the upcoming elections of 2024 as well. So the old pension scheme was abolished as a part of the pension reforms by the government in 2004, and the new pension scheme was then implemented. It had defined benefit pension as the last drawn pay. So under the old pension scheme, the person's last drawn pay, he will get half of the amount as a pension all throughout his life, and also components like dearness allowances as well. Now, the OPS has been an unfunded pension scheme which is financed on the pay as you go, and it was given from the revenues of the government by the budget. Old pension scheme was replaced by the restructured national pension scheme or the new pension scheme. It has the OPS, let me tell you, as its origin during the British or the colonial period, when the Royal Commission or Lee Commission on Civil Establishments in 1924 recommended half of the salary during the active service to be given as pension after retirement to the recruits serving in India. Adoption of the Government of India Act 1935 further strengthened the provisions of the pension benefits to the government employees in the pre-independence era and old pension scheme as a colonial legacy. So when the government reverted to the new pension scheme or the national pension scheme, there were certain exceptions of existing faculties of the IITs, IIMs, IISCs, central universities, and the dozens of CEIs shifting from one such institution to another were allowed to continue with the old pension scheme under the Ministry of HRD after 2004. And the last most important issue is with regard to small modular reactors. So this was decided between India and Russia to now build small modular reactors. So India and Russia cooperate on nuclear energy cooperation as well. Small modular reactors are advanced nuclear reactors that have a power capacity of about 300 megawatt per unit, about 75 to 300 megawatt per unit, which is about 1/3 of the generation capacity of traditional reactor power reactors. Now, so small modular reactors can produce a large amount of low carbon carbon electricity, and they are small, physically a fraction of the size of the conventional nuclear power reactor, modular, making it very possible for the system and the components to be factory assembled and transported as a unit to the location for installation, and they harness nuclear energy through nuclear fission to generate heat to produce energy. And given their small footprint, the small modular reactors can be sited at locations not suitable for large nuclear power reactors. Prefabricated units of the small modular reactors can be manufactured and then shipped and installed on any site, making them more affordable to build than large power reactors, which are often custom designed for a particular location only, and sometimes also which leads to construction delays. Small modular reactors or SMRs offer savings in the cost and construction time, and they can be deployed incrementally to match the increasing energy demand. And developing of small modular reactors will definitely give a boost to the Make in India in India, especially with cooperation of Russia, and India can be an exporter of these reactors as well. So this is about the part 4 of August and the current affairs, and I shall meet you with the next last part of August current affairs for the preliminary upcoming examination. If you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and do not forget to comment at the end of the video, and I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.